Okay. So back to the, what did we learn last class?
IsNew, IsPickVal, PriorValue.
Prior value we have completed. Okay.
And IsNew is changed.
Is changed also we have completed.
Yes, ma'am. Is changed also. And or and not also we did.
Okay. How about others? Did we complete the assignment of the validation rules? Okay, fine. So let's go on, implement the validation rule. Nobody want to say, or somebody wants to say anything about the assignment? Okay, let's come in this direction. What is validation rule? What is validation rule?
Validation tool helps in filtering the data.
Helps in filtering the data. Okay.
Validation tool is a verification. So before inserting the record, it verifies if the data entered by the user is a valid data or
Valid
not.
data.
So if it is a valid one, then we throw error.
Okay. Okay. So let's say there is a business scenario. Okay. Now business scenario is we have a case object. Case is linked to the contact, right? Let's go to the Salesforce. So we have service console. Okay, in the service console, we'll be having the case object. Case is linked to the contact. Is that true? Case is there. Let's go to the detail section. Case is linked to the contact number, right? It is linked to the contact as well as it is linked to the account. Now, when the case is getting created, when the case gets created, in real-time scenario, when the case gets created.
Case created whenever if the product if any problem got in the product, so case is created against the problem to find the solution.
So case is nothing but this is kind of a ticket raising the issue to the respective member, raising the issue to the respective team. When I say respective team, if I have a issue in Salesforce, I can raise a ticket. I can raise a ticket To whom I need to raise it? To the Salesforce support team. Right? Whenever it is raised, they are going to assign some person to look into this issue. Let's assume that contact. The contact information has to be there in the Salesforce. That is means whoever is a part of that support team, they should have a contact as well. Let's take example. For example, there are 10 members in the support. 10 members are there in the support. That means 10 contacts are there in the support. Now suddenly one person left the company. Suddenly one person left the company. But here, before he left the company or before the person left the company, all 10 contacts were having the cases owned by them. So whoever is left the company, that person was having a one record. One case was he was handling it. The person was handling one case. Before he left the company, he was handling the one case. Right? Now, if somebody comes in, another contact comes in, update the same case. Whenever the another person, another contact, for example, here second contact is coming into the place. Second contact came and updated the case that was handled by the ex-employee. Okay, handled by the ex-employee. When the contact is not there in the company, we do not want anybody to touch that case. If the employee is not in the company and whatever the employee was handling the case, we do not want anybody to touch that case. Only the higher management have the access to edit that case. Okay, so how can we implement this? What is the first thing that I need to do? This is kind of a real-time scenario because not only the company, if it is a Volkswagen, Skoda, or any bike companies, everywhere this kind of issues will be there. As soon as the person leaves, we do not want other employees to touch the cases that was handled by the ex-employee here. Right? So how do we handle this? How do we handle using the validation rule?
On the case, we will check the is there the contact name or contact phone, and
Case level, you are going to verify whether the contact is exist or not.
yeah,
How you will check on the case level?
scenario is like we don't have like we don't want to work on that case when there will be no contact exist, right?
Yes. When the contact is, the first thing is that when the contact is working with the company or not, how can I identify here? What is the best way to identify whether the person is working or not? in
By
Salesforce?
using the user object,
User
the
object.
users, yeah, under users.
How the contact is linked to the or user. Here our scenario is contact is exist or not. Others. How are we going to implement this in the validation rule?
Is it possible like we have the account ID field which is lookup with the case, and
Yes.
yeah, and through that if we check if the account ID uh, is null, through that can we apply validation?
Flag validation where you will do it on the account level or on the contact level.
It will be for the case. So
So my criteria, my business requirement is whether the
First we
contact
check
is
the
exist.
ma'am,
Yeah.
can I tell one thing? First
Yeah.
we check the in child level uh, case is there or not.
Child level case is there or not. How
Check
do you check it?
lookup ID is there or not.
Which ID? Contact ID?
Uh,
yeah, yes.
Okay, that is one way. What is the another way? Contact ID verification. Okay.
Also the something like field, so there is parent ID lookup to case.
Parent ID lookup.
But it is not related to contact. So
Let me give you another scenario. You have joined a company. Okay. Let's take you have joined the Dell company. There will be an email created for you. Okay. Email will be created for you. Some email, which is with @dell.com. Now, when you leave the company, how long they will take you to deactivate there? Will they delete actually the email ID? This email ID, if you have, means there is a contact inside the Dell company. There is a contact might be there inside the Dell company, right? So for you, there is a contact with along with the ID, email ID, personal phone, blood group, all this information, they are going to store the information in the contact. So when you leave the company, how long they will take you to deactivate? If you join back again, okay, if you join back again, how long they will take you to activate back? Are they going to create a contact again with all this information? If they're trying to create this information, it says the duplicate record. Forget about joining the company. When you go for the interview, let's take Accenture. In Accenture, what they will do, they will create a record for you, right? The record, they will create a one record. Assume that that is a contact record. Assume that that is a contact record. They will take all your ID. They will create an ID for you with the information of email ID and the resume and address, PAN card, all these information they will take and they will create a record. Now, next time when you go for the interview with the Accenture, let's assume that it is a less than 6 months only, you are attending the another interview. That time what they will say, your record is already there in the system, right? Your record is already there in the system. But when you go for the first time, how much time they are going to create it? They are going to take a time to create a record. And next time, if they wanted to create another record, how long they will take you to create? Are they going to create another contact record for you after 6 months? Or how they are going to handle that?
They will just update the details. They will not create a new record.
Update the details. Perfect. Okay. Update the existing record. Now, what is the easiest way to update the record? We have a different data type. Lookup, checkbox, date, time, date.
Using the lookup.
Lookup, okay. There are multiple ways we can update this record when we go for the interview.
Using the checkbox also, ma'am.
Yes, using the checkbox. Whether this candidate is ready to attend or not, just a checkbox. And then another field I needed here, date, time, when he is coming up. So here we needed 2. Okay, now let's go back to our scenario. In our scenario, contact is exist or not. When the contact is going to join back, what is the easiest way to handle this contact record? How can we deactivate the user in the Salesforce?
Go to the user and click freeze.
Okay.
Yeah, in user management.
Freeze or deactive the record, deactive the profile license.
What is the flag that we use to deactivate the user?
Backend, ma'am.
Yes, as an admin, how can I for some user is resigned it? Okay. Now, as an admin, I am an admin. How can I deactivate that user?
We have the active checkbox that
In the
we
profile
just
level, we have the active checkbox level. Profile
Not profile level, user level.
user level.
Yeah, so whenever somebody is coming up, we'll create a new record. If somebody is leaving it on the user level, what we can do is instead of deleting the record, what we will do is we will go to the users, and we will see different users here, and we'll go to that particular user, and we can say that there is a flag called active. So what we will do, we simply deactivate it. We simply uncheck this active checkbox. That means this person is no longer is valid to use the Salesforce.
Okay.
Okay, so same thing in the contact. Same thing in the contact. We need a checkbox. We need a checkbox to identify whether the contact is valid to use the Salesforce or not. So the first thing what I need in the micro level is I need one field. Where do I need a field?
Okay.
Contact. What type of data type I need?
Checkbox.
checkbox.
This is the first thing that I need to create it. And what is the second condition that I need to verify? As you have a checkbox on the contact level, that is the first condition in the validation rule. What is the second condition that I need to verify?
The flag on the checkbox.
Yeah, flag on the checkbox, that is the first condition. Okay, this is the first condition that I'm going to check the flag. Whether contact is available in the company or not. That is a checkbox which I'm going to use it. This is the first condition. What is my second condition as per this requirement?
If the contact is related to that case, like is he handling that case before?
Okay, so, but anyway, we have a lookup on the case level. So that is going to tell us this is not going to remove. This will not be removed.
Have you checked is there any update is it or not?
Is there any update is happening in the case or not? Right.
Yes. Yes.
So that is the second one, update. When we do the update,
Already record is there.
right. When the record is there with the status of different status. If the status is right now we have a different status, new working escalated, assume that there is a closed one also. Okay, why it is not there here closed? Let me go to the edit object. Do I have a record types here? No, okay. Field, stage name or status. So closed is not there. Okay, why it is not showing the close there?
To show closed status in case status field is unchecked.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and check that. Let me refresh. Details. Click on status edit. Now closed is coming. Okay, so when the status is not closed, only that time the case can be edited, right? If it is a closed, nobody is going to touch it, right? So only I can update the case when it is not closed. Update the case when case is not closed. Only that time only we can do the update. Now let's go. These are the two conditions which we have to do. Now the first one, I need to implement a checkbox on the contact level. So let me go to the contact object manager. Contact. I'll create a new field. Let's take a checkbox. Click on next. I'll say no longer with company. So by default, it should be false. Let's click on next. Access level, yes, system admin. I need only on the system admin. Okay, perfect. Let's click on next. Adding on to the layout, say. So now on the contact level, we have no longer with the company option is there. If the person is working in the company, the checkbox is false. In case if this person is not working in the company, then this checkbox will be true. Now I'll go ahead and create a validation rule. New. Do I need to create a validation rule on contact or case?
On case object.
Then why nobody is saying it? Click on new on the case. No update on case for no longer or no longer available person. I have there limit available person on contact. Now, what is the condition that I need to give here?
If the no longer available person is active,
Okay, how do I get it?
First of all, we have the two conditions that we have to check. So
Yeah.
we have to use the and in the and we have to put the logic.
Okay, what is the first logic?
so no longer active,
How can I take the no longer active?
uh, from the contact case and the contact on the right side.
Contact. So what
Yeah,
are we doing
and
here? Just a second. What are we doing here? One level down, I'm going on. That means in validation rule, how can we capture the child records? In validation rule, we can capture child records by using the parent object dot child object parent object record dot child object record child object record dot the field.
field name.
So this is how we get the child records. Now again, if you wanted to go to level down, for example, here account is there. I wanted to get contact and account. Can I go? Yes. And also I wanted to get the user level. I can go. I can go. Even I wanted to get the contact. Again, I wanted to get the account. Again, I wanted the account owner. So how long will it be there? You can use as many as level down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, max of max, 4 level down, we can go down. Max of max, 4 level down. After this, as soon as I select the contact here, it is not showing anything. Ideally, as soon as I select the contact, it should show me the account. But after selecting the contact, it is not showing me anything. It's just simply saying the account ID. Right? 4 level down, we can go to capture the information of the child records. Can capture the child records in validation rule. Now back to our logic, insert case. From the case, where do I need to go?
Contact,
Contact, and then
no longer active field,
no longer with the company.
the company. Yeah.
Insert. Okay, this is my first condition. What is the second condition?
If the case status is closed or not.
Case status
So-
is closed or not. So how can we cross verify?
Status.
Status. Is there any other field is there?
Yes, is there, ma'am.
Is there on?
Go down. Go down. Is there status? Top.
Yeah.
Top.
In the top.
Status is there, but what I'm checking is there any other field which talks about the closed?
Yeah, closed.
What is this closed?
It is checkbox. So it says
What it
is
will
closed.
happen on the is closed? For example, okay, let me go to the data details. Do I have here the closed? Now let me change. Before I change back, what I do is I'll go to the developer console. Select ID, comma, is closed from case where ID equal to 18-digit ID. What is the value that is going to come up? False. That means this record is not closed. Now let's say, go ahead and say is closed. I'm changing the status to closed. Now refresh the grid. Is closed is true. That means instead of me checking as a status equal to closed, status is a pick list. Pick list of the value I need to check. But instead of checking the is pick list, value closed or not. Possible that there is a spelling mistake might happen. But case has a flexibility. Tell me there is a checkbox on the case level, standard field, that is standard field provided by the Salesforce, say is closed is introduced by the Salesforce. So can I use this is closed?
Yes, ma'am.
Is closed. Now, whenever it is closed, is closed, anything do I need to add it? That means only the closed records if I'm trying to update anything. Okay, let me show you this, what is happening, and you will come to know. So right now, check the syntax, no error. Perfect. Now, let's put a error condition, unable to save this record because contact is no more in the company. Let's click on save. Now our validation rule is done. Now this is the closed one. Let me open another record. Let me close all of this. One 1026 is a closed one, and 1002 is new one. Now I'll open the 1002. Okay, now Stella is there. Is that the same with 1026? Contact is not there here. So I'll open the contact. Details, I'll link the Stella here. Save. And for Stella, what I'll do is I'll check this. Right now, she is not in a company, no longer with the company. Right, perfect. Now this case is status is new. It is connected to the contact. If I try to update something, did it allow? Yes, it updated. Now let me go back to the closed one. Now I'll change something. What happened right now? What are we trying to change? We are trying, whenever we are trying to change the closed record, then it is giving the error. But what is our requirement? Our requirement is update the records that are not closed. Update the records that are not closed.
So not of is closed.
We have not given the logic in the validation.
What did we give? Only check the one which are closed one.
Yeah, I think we have to give not is closed. Not of is closed. Not function.
Not function, we have to say. Now it is perfect. Now cancel this, go back to the not closed case, and let me update the case reason back to this. What will happen? It is going to throw me an error saying that this contact is not available in the company. You first change the contact and then update the case. Clear? The validation rule is just a straightforward 2 lines, but the business scenario is very big here. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So in real-time scenario also like this, it will be there. First, we need to understand the business scenario. Based on that, we have to take a decision in the validation rule. Assignment.
In real time, whenever we are like doing such a cases, at that time when we are creating some field, uh, for that we have to take approval from client, or we can create a field by our own also.
Okay. It's not from the client, the approval should, because definitely client does not know what are the fields you are creating it. They do not care about it. But in your company, there is a person called architect.
Okay.
So you should take a approval from the architect that I'm planning to create this field. And the reason for creating this field is you have to say the reason. If it is agreed by technical lead or architect, then you go ahead and implement it.
Okay. Yeah.
So assignment prevent saving a case when account does not have a support. How do you do that?
Support means?
For example, we have a account. Okay, this is the account. Now I wanted to know whether this account is he going to support the case or not?
Okay.
That means we need to have some checkbox here in order to know whether this account is supporting for the cases or not.
Yeah.
Okay, is that doable? Is that doable? Similar, whatever I have mentioned, same similar concept.
Yeah,
But
yes.
I took it with the contact. I have given the assignment as a account. Right?
Yes.
And okay. Now, just let you know that we have some scenarios which is related to the date type. Now, in that scenario, when you have a business scenario which talks about date type, how do you take if you wanted to check the current month or current date? So let's assume the business scenario is you need to validate the date field. This date field should be within the current year. That means this case has to be closed within the current year. If you wanted to know, you can check here. One of the function called year. Use the year, and inside this you need to pass the date field. You need to
I
pass
have
the
one doubt that on the above formula we have mentioned and field name, comma, not the it's closed. But for the contact, no longer we are not giving the condition. Like, is it checked or unchecked or
we are giving the condition here. What is this contact dot no longer with the company? What is the value? What is the output that I'm going to get it from this?
yeah, it is by default unchecked.
No. What is the output I'm going to get it? Boolean value I'm going to get it. Right? So when we write a AND condition, okay, in the validation rule, we do not write the if condition here. We do not write the if condition. By default, it is going to assume this way is if condition. False and true. True and false, what it is? False. Okay, you have this condition.
Yes.
Okay, now let's take how your output is. You are going to check what is my contact no longer with the company. Is the field is true or false? If it is a false, then it will print the false. What is the case is closed or not? It is closed. Okay, true. Now what is the output that I'm going to get it?
Will not fire this validation.
Because true and
Both
false is
false.
False.
false. So that's how the calculation is going to happen. In case if your contact no longer with the company, it says that true. But you are saying that case is not closed or case is closed. So it will give the false condition. It will give the false condition. Then your validation will not execute. So in your case, it has to be both of them true. The contact no longer with the company has to be true and case should be opened, then true. So in this scenario, it is going to execute it. We are checking here to know whether the checkbox is true or not. Whether the
Okay.
checkbox is true or not, we are checking that.
Yeah, because our field is checkbox, so it is already giving true or false.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay. So if you have a date calculation, use the fields which are functions which are called year and then today, and then we have a called date. Day of the year, date value, and the date value time. So using this, you can perform it. Okay. Okay, so that is the only one assignment. At least complete that assignment. Okay, that's all for today. We'll meet on Tuesday morning India time.